Hello guys, welcome to Major's Garage. This is Suellio. I'm the crew chief for the Formula 1, Formula 3 and Formula 3.5. Today we're gonna see my lap here at Barcelona, the historic version, with the Formula 3.5. So let's go straight to the first corner. Braking right before this little access road here. Pretty sure that you are very parallel to the white line, so you have a good entry. I'm braking quite aggressively all the way up to almost 100%. Actually, if you do touch 100% brakes, this is no problem. And then already kind of trying to turn in slightly early. There's not a lot of time to really decrease too much the speed. You want to actually carry a good amount of speed as you turn in. As you can see, my brake release is quite progressive here. I'm really progressively release all the way until I get very close to this first apex, which is this yellow curb here. And I want to get back on the throttle quite aggressively as I go by this curb. I want to really push the car a lot as I get on this first apex, but I don't want to let it drift to the left too early, because I really need that good line here so I can change direction and then have my car well to the left here. I mean, not too much, but as you can see, I'm really trying not to let the car drift to the right here either, so I can prepare this long right-hander here. So again, carrying a good amount of speed on entry, but being quite patient, getting back on the throttle at this yellow curb. You want to be as close as possible to it, and then you want to keep bringing the car to the right, so you want to be more or less in the middle of the track. Of course, as you can see here, I'm much more to the left, but I kind of envision the middle of the track, so I can pull my car as much as possible to the right, and then I change direction quite aggressive to the left here. You can use a little bit of this green area, and then bringing my car just a little bit to the left here so we can prepare, not too much. You actually have to follow this darker rubber area here, and you want to be very close to touching this curb, not actually going over it. You want to basically touch the white line. Not too early, but not too late. Around, I don't know, 40%, 30% of the corner, and then you let the car go wide. And when you get around here, you will have enough grip to not even worry about getting off track. So here you will get enough track as soon as, this is a fun camera here, as soon as you get the middle of the car in this drain here. So basically, you can use the ring lights as a reference, or the helmet, or anything like that. If you go over to the left of this drain here, you will get enough track, so be aware of that. So here again, we can see the same thing. I'm really having my car very close to this drain, but not going over to the left of it, because I would get enough track. But you can really be this much over the curb to get ready for the next corner. So about this one, not braking too hard. I'm braking and then I'm immediately already trying to turn in. I went slightly early apex, and then I want to get back on the throttle and really let the car drift wide here. As you can see, you can really let the car go wide, and then because you will have enough time to bring the car back to the right, and then you will have a good positioning for braking for this left corner. This is a difficult one because there's no reference for braking. So basically what I do is I look at the apex, and I kind of, you have to feel a little bit the distance so that you can brake safely into this corner. And you want to be very safe on the, not safe, you want to be gentle on the entry with the front tires, because you want them on the exit. And if you turn a little bit too aggressively with the front tires, the car can oversteer on entry and then have a sudden snap on exit. So Be careful, very gentle with the steering. As you can see here, I am being very gentle with the fronts. And then when you get towards the apex, like here, you start turning a little bit more and then get back in the throttle. And also, this is as much as you can go to the right without getting off track. So basically, this thin line here, where my car is basically over, is when you is the place that will measure your off track. So basically, if the middle of the car is over to the right of this thin line, you will get an off track. So here you can basically see that I was supposed to get an off track, but this was the limit of the limit, and I did not get one. So this was a good one. So for this corner, there's a little bit of banking here. There's a little bit of camber, so you have more grip than you expect. So be sure to not be braking too hard here. You want to brake a little bit, but you really already want to bring the car, knowing that when it hits this first apex, you will get a good amount of mechanical grip, as well as downforce, of course. But yeah, you need a little bit of confidence. You want to get back on the throttle here in a way that your car will basically carry you naturally as close as possible to this yellow curb here. Of course, you do not want to touch it because that really upsets the car and you can spin. So be careful with that, but that's how early we should get back on the throttle here. We want to get back on the throttle here in a way that the car really pushes itself here. As you can see, this does not give me an off track, even though we are putting the car over to the right of the drain. So this is a place where this is an exception, I would say. And then for this next one, I want you to really be super close to this grass here. Turn in quite gently because you don't want to use all of the grip here. You want to be churning in well here, but then more and more towards the apex. You want to be kind of still going towards the curb even after this yellow curb here. So as you can see, we are passing the yellow curb, but my car is still not parallel to it. It's actually pointing inwards still. So that's a good line. When you realize that, you will realize you will see how you can actually carry a lot of throttle and a lot of speed into this exit without getting off track. So here, this is also the limit of the limit without getting off track. The division between the curbs, the green and white and the red and white, is what will give you an off track if you go over with the middle of the car. So here, as you can see, I was pretty close. Then for this next corner, I'm braking just before the 50, or we can actually think braking at the 50, but I'm always braking slightly before. As you can see, my maximum pressure is still before I am going through I'm going over the 50. This time you need a little bit more time to be braking on a straight line, but also because this is not the hairpin, this is a little bit of a higher speed corner, you can carry a lot more speed than you would if you did the hairpin. So do an early apex, and then try to get back on the throttle, knowing that you can actually go slightly wide here because you will have the time to bring the car back to the left to prepare for the next corner. So here I want to be as close as possible to this cone. As you can see, this was close enough because I hit it. And then I want to kind of point the car before I brake. As you can see, I am churning, I am pointing the car, and then I will start braking very lightly because I'm treating this corner as a double apex. So this is my first apex. I'm still braking very lightly and carrying a lot of speed into the corner. The car goes a little bit wide, and then we bring it back to the second apex, which is represented by this yellow curb here. And then I want to really carry a lot of exit speed here, rotating the car with the acceleration and letting it go wide here to this exit. Then penultimate corner, you can just do flat out, no worries. Just be careful on the first lap. The car can oversteer a little bit here, and if you try to correct, it may snap and spin. So just be careful. If you oversteer a little bit, lift to like 90% throttle. That will be enough. And then for this last corner, you want to really be super close to this yellow curb, and then you want to turn in and lift just a little bit. You don't need to lift completely. As you can see, I'm not lifting completely. I'm just lifting a little bit, but then immediately before you even touch this curb, I want to already be full throttle, so I can help the car rotating with the throttle, and also because I want to carry as much speed as possible to this exit. And here you can really use all of this area here. The off track, I think you will get it off track if you touch the gravel with the outside tires. So just be aware of that. So yeah, this was Formula 3.5 at Barcelona. I hope you guys enjoy, and see you next week. Bye bye.